Hello everyone and welcome to this week's QuickTip tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be going over the difference between this and this. Although I make tons of videos on programming on YouTube, I'm not a completely professional, amazing, perfect programmer, and I'm always learning little things that can help improve my workflow or programming conventions that I didn't know before. So this is going to be in the difference between a double equals operator and a triples equals operator. All my tutorials I've always used the double, but there are cases in which you want to use the triple instead if you want to be more explicit. So today I'm going to be going over the differences and some examples. Before we get started with this video, I do want to remind you down below, hit subscribe and the bell icon to be notified of new videos coming out twice weekly in the channel. And down in the description, you can follow me on GitHub for coding updates where I post lots of useful code. You can follow me on AE Scripts and purchase or download free products to help support me and improve your workflows. And you can also follow on Instagram for other live updates. If you're not already a member in our Discord server, make sure you come on over, get help with scripting, extensions, plugins, expressions, submit tutorial ideas, hang out with our awesome members, and much more. And if you'd like to help support me on YouTube and get cool perks like membership status on Discord, weekly tutorial polls, monthly and weekly Q&A streams, code in advance, and much more, you can become a member supporter, premium supporter, or VIP. Link for that is in the description down below. So I'm just referencing this article, which I'll put in the description of this video as well. But basically, I want to just go over what it's saying and tell you why in scripting or extensions you would want to use triples versus double equals. So the main difference is that the double equals is basically going to convert the two values you're comparing into the same value type and then compare them. The triple equals operator is more strict, and what it's going to do is essentially compare both the types and the values of what you're evaluating. As it says here, the double equals converts the variables into the same type before performing the comparison, which is called type coercion. And this is basically something that JavaScript does all the time, which is one of the reasons that makes it so flexible. You can compare integers to strings and a lot of times get really interesting results and information based on that type coercion. And the triple equal sign does not do any conversion or coercion and returns true only if both the values and types are identical for the two variables being compared. So in JavaScript, we're always using var, let, const. There are also more specific implicit variable types. Obviously, if you have some text inside of a string, it's going to be assumed that this variable is a string. If you have a simple integer, it might just be an integer type. Or if you have many decimals, you might have a float or a double type variable. These should be things that you're all familiar with. But say, for example, you're comparing the string one versus the text one. If you have a simple double equals operator and say, is the integer 1 equal to the string that has the letter or number 1 inside of it? Well, if you're using a double equal sign, it's going to convert those to be the same type of variable and then compare them. In this case, it could convert them to both be integers and they'll both be 1. And in another case, they could be converted to strings and they'll both evaluate to 1 as well. But if you give it a triple comparison, it's not going to convert any type. It's going to say, is both of these evaluate to 1, but also have the same data type? Well, if one of them has quotes within it and this one has no quotes, they're not the same data type. Practically speaking, this is useful in situations where you want to be very precise. Maybe you're doing a search through your composition or a bunch of mathematics that requires very specifics. You may want to use the triple equal sign, but if you're just doing things like, for example, say you have an interface with an edit text box, you can compare that text inside of the edit text box to an integer, and using the double equals operator, that will convert those to the same format and check if your text as an integer or as a float value is the same as your comparative value. And that is something that's a little bit more useful in JavaScript with type coercion, basically converting a UI element value or a text value to a specific, say, composition width. Say the user typed in 1920 for their composition width in your interface. You could then compare it to the actual composition width, which gives you an integer of 1920, and using the double equals, those will equal the same thing. But if you wanted to be more explicit and have those not equal the same thing because they're not exactly the same data type, use the triple equals. Again, I'll link this article down below, and you can check out type coercion to get more details on how it converts the variables before comparison. But that's going to do it for this quick tip. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the thumbs up button down below, hit subscribe and the bell icon to be notified of new videos coming out twice weekly in the channel. Down in the description, you can follow on GitHub for coding updates. Make sure you check out the link for the AE scripts link to my profile, where you can download and purchase products to help improve your workflows and support me. And of course, make sure you follow on Instagram for other live updates. If you're not already a member of our Discord server, make sure you come and join to get help with scripting, extensions, After Effects and Premiere plugins, UXP plugins, submit tutorial ideas, hang out with members, and much more. And in the description down below, you can become a YouTube member, supporter, premium supporter, or VIP. This offers you lots of cool perks, help support the channel, and much more. Thanks again for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.